it. Now, before you start, the edge of the crinoline has a way of causing discomfort. So you want to use your paper tape or masking tape to tape the edge. So I'm using one of the front panels as my example, and then because this one is very curvy, so I want to use this one. If the edge where you're putting the crinoline is a bit not too curvy, it's even easier to fix. Okay, but it's not hard. So this is what you do. You just place the crinoline like this. You want to use your office pins. Meanwhile, you're placing it on the wrong side of the fabric, on the fabric. So you just pin, and then the crinoline stretches, so you have to be careful so that you don't overstretch it. You need to use your pins here, please. So that's why I'm taking my time to explain. I'll just explain how to fix it on just one, and I'm going to do the rest. Okay, so this is it. So you just try to follow the curve of the hemline. So, like I said, don't stretch it, please don't stretch it, just try to follow the curve. Okay, then obviously this is where it ends, so I'll just cut it off. Likewise for this edge of the crinoline too, you also have to put your masking tape. So just place it like this. Okay, so now here is it. Now I'll go ahead and sew. Please don't use half inch. You're sewing with 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch, just the lower part of the bodice, like so. I'll just stitch it down. So I'm going to repeat this for all the panels. So you just sew 1/4 of an inch all the way down. So let me go and do that. Okay, so you can see that I've attached the crinoline to all the panels. Make sure you add this tape, this is important. Or if you don't have a masking tape, you can use probably the pieces of the fabric and just, make a binding kind of, but just make sure you cover the crinoline. So now that I've attached crinoline to all the panels, I'll go ahead and join them together. And then I've joined the lining. So for the front pieces here, the front panels, I'll join them, but make sure the part where you have the zipper allowance, you leave it open. Then for the back panels, you join all 4 together. So let me do that. Okay, so you can see that I've joined all the panels together. So the next step now, I'm going to join the front and back together at the shoulder. Then I'll also go ahead and join the side seam. So whatever I'm doing for the fabric, I'm going to do the same thing for the lining. So let me do that. Okay guys, so I finished joining everything, the shoulder and the side. Please make sure you press. You can see that I opened all my seams and I pressed everything. Okay, so here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now, this part is optional. If you don't want to do this, it's not compulsory. I just want to add a little detailing to the the top, so that the panels are more highlighted. It's optional. So this is a trimming. There are several types of trimming in the market. So this trimming, I'm going to place it on the joinings of the panel. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be enough for the whole blouse. I don't know. So to be on the safe side, I'm going to start from the front on all, where I have all the joinings here, the princess style line, the side seam. Same thing for this side. So if it's remaining, I'm not sure yet, I'll put it at the back. But even if it doesn't extend to the back, the main focus of the dress is in the front, so it doesn't really matter. So all I'm going to do now, let me just show us how I'm going to fix it. There are different types of trimming in the market, so just buy the one you want to. So this is the trimming. I'll just pin it down and then just one stitch is fine. So I'll just follow the lines of the panels. So let me do that. Okay guys, so I finished attaching the trimming to the joining of the panel. So like I said, it's optional, it's not compulsory you do it, it's just to highlight the panels. So now next thing is to turn the hemline of the blouse. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to reduce the length of your lining so that your sewing will not be showing outside. It's very, very important. So I'm going to reduce the length of my lining by ½ inch. So I'll just cut ½ inch round. Let me do that. Okay, so after reducing it, you now place the lining on the fabric. You know, we want to sew the hemline. So I'm going to go ahead now and sew ½ inch. Remember that when we attach the crinoline to the fabric, we use 1/4 inch. So please take notes. When you're attaching the crinoline to the fabric, you're using 1/4 inch. But when you're attaching the lining and the fabric together now, you're going to use ½ inch. So let me go ahead and sew the hemline of the blouse. Okay, so this is it. I've turned the hemming of the blouse. So this is the right side. But just before you flip it over to the right side, what you want to do in order to make the crinoline sit well, you want to stitch this seam allowance to the lining. This is my fabric and this is the lining. So you go ahead to the sewing machine and stitch your seam allowance onto the lining. Then once you do that, okay, then you now give it a very good press. So let me do that. Okay, so after top stitching, please, the ironing is very, very important. You have to use a steam iron to press it down. Okay, so this is how the hemline is also going to look. So you can see the effect of the crinoline, giving it that wavy look. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now.